Hi, and welcome to QI Bitesize. My name's Emma Donaldson, and I'm the QI advisor to Tickle, and this is Module 3, Measurement for Improvement. So the first question we need to answer is, why do we need to measure at all? And the answer to that is fairly simple. Because all improvement requires change, but not all change will result in an improvement. And we use measurement to be able to demonstrate that the things that we are suggesting as changes are resulting in improvements to the service. So now we know why we're measuring. What are we trying to measure? Quality improvement commonly talks about a family of measures. These include outcome measures, process measures, and balancing measures. Outcome measures often reflect the aim of the project, for example, reduce mortality in acute myocardial infarction. However, you may need to treat thousands and thousands of patients to be able to see such an improvement, and the outcome measure may not change during the life of the project. That's where process measures become really important. The processes we measure are those that we know or suspect will have an effect on the outcome. So, for the AMI example, we might measure door to thrombolysis time or door to PCI time for patients presenting with chest pain and being found to have an MI, as we know that rapid intervention improves mortality. The third group of measures is balancing measures, and this is really important as the systems that we are trying to improve rarely exist in isolation from one another, and therefore improvement work on one system may have unforeseen consequences on another. So, going back to our AMI example, a balancing measure might be the time that non-chest pain patients wait to be triaged in the emergency department. Balancing measures usually fall into three main categories: spill, steal, and spoil. You might notice a spillover effect from your project into other areas. For example, by ensuring everybody with pneumonia gets rapid antibiotics, you might find that you increase prescribing of antibiotics for other conditions such as COPD inappropriately. In order to see patients quickly along one pathway, you may need to steal resources from another. And in the worst case scenario, you may spoil a system that is working very effectively by trying to improve the one that you are working on. It's really important that we measure these things to ensure that we are not improving one area of our service at the expense or detriment of another. So now we know why we're measuring and our family of measures. What data do we need to try and collect? Data falls into three main groups: data for judgment, data for research, and data for quality improvement. And these differ across several domains. The domains are listed down the left-hand side of this table. It's really important to decide what we're trying to do with our data to enable us to collect the right kind of data for the purpose. So, take an aim, for example. The aim of research is to tell us what we need to do to generate new knowledge and new evidence. The aim of audit is purely to evaluate whether we are doing the right thing against a gold standard. Quality improvement is looking at how we improve the thing that we are doing to ensure that we are doing the right thing for every patient, every time, not just work out how many times we're doing it right. Understanding the difference between these three kinds of data is really important to ensure that you collect the right kind of data for your quality improvement project. And this is a really useful table for summarizing those differences, and I refer to it on a regular basis. So now you've collected some data, how do we display it? These graphs are from the Institute for Healthcare Improvement and illustrate the difference between a static before and after measure and a dynamic view of data. Quality improvement prefers the latter. In this instance, the bar chart on the left-hand side shows a reduction of 20% in mortality from coronary artery bypass grafting following the introduction of a new protocol. The response to this is, that's fantastic. Let's import and try that new protocol in our organisation. But if you look at the data over time, with all the data points included as a dynamic view of the process, as shown on the right-hand side, you can see that the mortality from bypass grafting was falling before the protocol was introduced and actually deteriorated following the introduction of the protocol. When you look at the data in this way, the protocol is not such a great thing after all and should be viewed with caution at the very least. It certainly shouldn't be implemented. So, quality improvement always looks at data over time. We plot that data on run charts, and there's more about run charts in Module 5. We do this so we can understand the variation in the data, and variations covered in Module 4. Data over time allows us to identify honestly whether there is improvement within the data, and by annotating our graphs, we can powerfully demonstrate any relationship between the changes we're testing and the changes in the data. So, in summary, measurement is important to be able to demonstrate change and improvement. You should consider a family of measures based on outcome, process, and balancing measures. You really need to look at the difference between data for improvement, research, and judgment or audit, and use the right type of data for your project. And you need to look at viewing data over time rather than as a simple before and after measurement. We hope you found this useful and that you will join us again for further modules. We also recommend www.ihi.org for further information and resources. We welcome your feedback, and you can follow us on Twitter at @tickle_northwest or myself at @e_Arnott Smith. Thank you very much, and we hope you can join us again soon.